Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome back to our channel, and today we're talking a little bit more into learning web development. Specifically, we're going to look at online courses and resources that you can use to help kickstart your web development, whether that's something you'd like to pursue as a hobby or as a career. The starting point is all the same. There's the same way to learn, and there's so many courses and resources out there for you to take advantage of and kickstart your hobby or career in web development. So let's get started. So first of all, what are web developers? Web developers are professionals who specialize in building websites and web applications. They are responsible for designing, coding, and maintaining the technical aspects of websites, ensuring they function smoothly and deliver an optimal user experience. Web developers work with various programming languages, markup languages, and frameworks to create the front end, also known as the client side, and the back end, also known as the server side, components of a website. Web developers have various roles and responsibilities depending on their specialization and the specific needs of a project. Here are some key roles and responsibilities commonly associated with web developers. First up, we have actual web development. So web developers are responsible for designing, coding, and modifying websites or web applications. They create the functional element of a website, ensuring that it is visually appealing, user-friendly, and responsive across different devices. Web developers write and maintain the code that powers websites, and they work with programming languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and may also use frameworks and libraries like React, Angular, or jQuery. Front-end developers focus on the visual and interactive elements of a website that users interact with directly. They work on the user interface, implement navigation features, optimize page loading time, and ensure cross-browser compatibility. Back-end developers are responsible for the server-side logic of a website or web application. They develop and maintain databases, handle user authentication, manage server configurations, and integrate various components to ensure the smooth functioning of the website. Web developers handle the storage and retrieval of data for websites, and they design and maintain databases, create queries, and ensure data integrity and security. And they're also responsible for testing websites or web applications to identify and fix any bugs or issues. They conduct thorough testing to ensure proper functionality, optimize performance, and resolve any compatibility problems that may arise. Web developers often work in teams, collaborating with designers, project managers, and other stakeholders. Effective communication skills are crucial for understanding project requirements, discussing ideas, and coordinating tasks as well. Next up is continuous learning. So web development is a rapidly evolving field, and developers must stay updated with the latest trends, technologies, and best practices. They should be proactive in learning new tools and techniques to enhance their skills and deliver high-quality solutions. And lastly, website maintenance and updates. So web developers may be responsible for maintaining and updating websites after their initial development. This includes any bug fixing, adding new features, optimizing performance, and ensuring the security measures are in place. Remember that roles and responsibilities of web developers can vary depending on the organization, project scope, and individual expertise. This is a general overview of what's expected of most web developers that are out there. So what are some required skills needed by web developers? Web developers require a combination of technical skills, programming language skills, and other abilities to effectively carry out their responsibilities. Some essential skills for web developers include proficiency in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these are foundational languages of the web. HTML is used for structuring web pages, CSS is used for styling and layout, and JavaScript for adding interactivity and functionality. Apart from JavaScript, though, familiarity with programming languages like Python, PHP, Ruby, or Java can be advantageous, depending on the project requirements. Knowledge of popular web development frameworks and libraries like React, Angular, Vue.js, jQuery, or Bootstrap can significantly enhance a developer's efficiency and productivity. Proficiency in using version control systems like Git allows developers to track changes, collaborate with others, and easily manage code repositories as well. Web developers should be well versed in creating responsive websites that adapt to different screen sizes and devices, ensuring a consistent user experience across platforms. Web developers should be well versed in creating responsive websites that adapt to different screen sizes, devices, to ensure a consistent user experience across different platforms. Understanding web accessibility standards and best practices is crucial for ensuring that websites are usable and inclusive for people with disabilities. Knowledge of server-side programming languages like Node.js, PHP, Ruby on Rails, or Python enables developers to handle back-end logic really effectively. And familiarity with databases such as MySQL, PostgreSQL, or MongoDB, and knowledge of query languages like SQL is essential for handling data storage and retrieval. Strong problem-solving skills and the ability to debug and resolve issues efficiently are valuable attributes for web developers. And as mentioned before, continuous learning, as web development is a dynamic field, so developers need to be eager to learn and adapt to new technologies, tools, and trends to stay up to date and deliver cutting-edge solutions. Effective communication skills are essential for collaborating with team members, understanding client requirements, and conveying technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. And lastly, attention to detail and testing. Meticulous attention to detail is crucial for writing clean and error-free code. Web developers should also possess skills in testing and debugging to ensure the functionality and quality of their work. These skills, combined with a passion for learning and problem solving, can help web developers excel in their roles as well. Are web developers even in demand? The short answer is yes. Web developers continue to be in high demand. The increasing reliance on digital technology and the growth of online businesses have created a strong need for skilled web developers. Every business, organization, or individual aiming to establish an online presence requires a website, and this has led to consistent demand for web developers who can design, develop, and maintain websites as well. On top of that, as mobile usage continues to increase, businesses and organizations are focusing on optimizing their websites for mobile devices. Web developers with skills in responsive web design and mobile app development are highly sought after nowadays. Web applications as well are widely used for various purposes, including productivity tools, communication platforms, and customer management systems. Web developers who can create robust, scalable, and user-friendly applications are in high demand. And web development is well suited for remote work, and the demand for remote web developers have increased significantly. This has opened up opportunities for developers to work with clients and companies from anywhere in the world. While the demand for web developers is generally high, it's worth noting that the specific demand for certain technologies and programming language and frameworks, it can vary over time. Staying adaptable and continuously updating one's skills can help web developers remain competitive in the job market. So let's talk about some good resources web developers can use to hone their skills. Web developers have access to a wide range of resources that enhance their skills and stay up to date with latest trends and technologies. Some popular resources include online learning platforms like Udemy, like this website here, Udemy, Coursera, and LinkedIn Learning. They offer a vast array of web development courses ranging from beginner to advanced levels. These courses can cover various topics like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, frameworks, and lots more. And what's really good about web development is that because it's such a popular industry now, there's really specific learning pathways that a lot of these online learning platforms present. So for example, on Udemy's website here, you can see that they have a broad selection of courses specifically to do with web development, and they can give you sort of learning pathways courses so that you're not getting overwhelmed with a bunch of choices. You can do beginner favorites, new, and you can sort of start from the beginning if you need to, or even look for a specific type of web development that you can learn to enhance your skills in that as well. So it's a really good kind of way to enhance your skills, but also learn to become a web developer as well. Next up is documentation and official websites. So official documentation and websites for programming language themselves and frameworks and libraries are really excellent resources. So for example, MDN Web Docs, so this is React's official website and Angular's official documentation. They provide really comprehensive information, tutorials, and examples of the programming language and the framework itself. So it's a really good way to learn a specific language or a specific framework. Next up, we have online coding communities. So participating in online coding communities like Stack Overflow, GitHub, Reddit, they can provide opportunities to learn from experienced developers, seek guidance, and collaborate on projects. These platforms also offer discussions, Q&A sessions, and code reviews. In this example, we have GitHub, and GitHub is a web-based platform that serves as a code hosting and collaboration platform. It offers a robust community of developers and provides numerous benefits for developers looking to enhance their skills. Some of the main benefits of GitHub is their code sharing and collaboration. So GitHub allows developers to share their code with others and collaborate on different projects and contribute to open source projects as well. It provides a platform for developers to learn from each other, review each other's code, suggest improvements, and work together to build high quality software. What's really cool about GitHub is that you can learn from existing projects. So GitHub hosts a vast collection of open source projects in various programming languages and domains. Developers can explore these projects, examine their code base, and learn from real-world examples. This helps in understanding the best practices, coding patterns, and industry standards as well. It's also a good way to showcase work and enhance your personal branding. So GitHub does act as like a developer's portfolio that can so they can showcase their projects, contributions, and skills. By maintaining an active GitHub profile and engaging in an open source projects, developers can establish their expertise, gain recognition, and build their personal brand within the developer community. Overall, GitHub community offers a collaborative environment for developers to learn, contribute, and improve their skills. It encourages knowledge sharing, fosters open source development, and provides valuable opportunities for networking and other connections with developers and industry professionals as well. Another good way for web developers to enhance their skills are blogs and tutorial websites. So there's numerous web development blogs and tutorial websites out there that provide valuable insights, tips, and tutorials on various web development topics. In this example, we have CSS Tricks, which is a really popular website dedicated to providing helpful information, tutorials, and tips related to web development, but specifically focusing on CSS and front-end development as well. Online forums and discussion boards are a really good way to hone your skin as well. Platforms like Reddit's r/web development or Hashnode or dev.to host active communities for web developers, and these forums provide opportunities to ask questions, share knowledge, and engage in discussions with fellow developers. Let's take a closer look at the best way to learn web development, and the first way is taking online courses and tutorials, and we've seen a lot of them earlier in the video, but essentially courses and tutorials, there's so many free and paid versions available on any web development. Popular platforms include Codecademy, Free Codecamp, Udemy, and Coursera. Codecademy is a particularly good one. It's an online interactivity platform that offers free coding classes in 12 programming languages, including Python, Go, JavaScript, Ruby, SQL, C++, C#, and Swift, as well as markup languages like HTML, CSS. Each of the courses are designed to be interactive and hands-on, so students can learn by doing, and each course is divided into a series of lessons. And each lesson includes a video tutorial, interactive coding exercises, and a quiz. As you can see, they also have lots of resources that split by the either the development pathway that you're learning for or the actual language that you're learning for as well. Students can also earn certificates of completion for each course that they finish, and everything is hands-on. Each lesson includes interactive coding lessons and a quiz, so it's very, very learning and very, very practice heavy as well. In addition to its free courses, Codecademy also offers paid services called Codecademy Pro, in which access gets you personalized learning recommendations, code challenges, project-based learning, offline access to courses, and a community support as well. Codecademy is mainly free. There's a variety of free courses in popular programming languages that makes it a really great option for people who are just starting out or who are on a budget. It's interactive. The courses are designed to be interactive and hands-on. It's self-paced, so you can learn at your own pace and your own schedule. And there's such a variety of programming languages that it means that students can really find a course that meets their specific need. Coursera is another learning platform. It's slightly different to Codecademy, but it's a platform that offers courses from top universities and companies around the world. It has over 92 million users and over 5,000 courses in a variety of subjects, not just web development, but also things like humanities, businesses, data science, things like that. It's typically taught by professors and they cover a wide range of topics. All of the courses are designed to teach students specific skills that are in demand in the workforce. Some popular certificates include the Google Data Analytics and the IBM Data Science Professional Certificate, and they're designed to teach students a deeper understanding of a particular subject. Coursera also offers personal degrees such as the Master of Business Administration from the University of Illinois at the Urbana-Champaign and the Master of Science in Data Science from the University of Michigan. While the courses are typically self-paced and students can learn at their own convenience, some courses do have deadlines for assignments and exams. They offer a variety of financial aid options for students who need help paying for their courses. It's a great option for students who want to learn from top universities and companies without having to enroll in a traditional degree program. It's also a great option for students who want to learn a new skill or advance their careers. If you are a beginner though, I would recommend starting with Codecademy. It's a great platform for learning the basics of web development in a really fun and engaging way. And then once you have a good understanding of basics, you can then move on to Coursera to take more advanced courses or learn a specific part about web development framework and technologies. So another way to learn web development is enrolling in something called coding bootcamps. So coding bootcamps are basically intensive programs that teach you the skills that you need to become a software developer in a very short period of time, usually 3 to 6 months. They're typically full-time programs and students learn by doing, working on real-life projects under the guidance of experienced instructors. They have become increasingly popular in recent years and they offer a fast and affordable way to learn the skills needed to enter the tech industry. They can be a bit expensive and they're not really for everyone, especially if you were just starting out. Some pros of the bootcamp is that they teach you skills you need to become a developer in a short amount of time. While they are more expensive than something like Codecademy or Coursera, they're typically more affordable than a traditional degree from a university for computer science or software engineering. And what's really good is that they're hands-on as well. Bootcamps focus on teaching you by doing, so you'll have the opportunity to work on real projects from day one. And a lot of bootcamps offer job placement assistance to their graduates. So if learning web development is something that you want to do to advance your career, then this might be a better option because you have more chance of getting a job out of it afterwards. But again, it is more expensive than just learning it through courses through Coursera or Codecademy. But again, traditionally less expensive than going to school. They're very, very intensive. Students are expected to work and learn in long hours, and they can be quite competitive. It's difficult to get accepted. And again, they're just not for everyone. Students need to be self-motivated and you need to be able to work independently as well. If you are considering a coding bootcamp, it's important to do your research and choose a reputable program. You should also make sure that the bootcamp's curriculum aligns with your career goals as well. We can take a look at some of the popular coding bootcamps for web development. The first one is this one here by General Assembly. It's a global education company that offers bootcamps, short courses, and workshops on a variety of topics, one of them being web development, data science, and software engineering. They have campuses in over 200 cities around the world, and its courses are taught by experienced professionals in the tech industry. GA's web development bootcamps are designed to teach students the skills that they need to become junior web developers in a very short period of time. The bootcamps typically last between 10 to 12 weeks, and students learn about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also back-end programming languages like Ruby on Rails and Python. GA also offers a front-end web development short course, which is a more affordable option for students who are already familiar with the basics of web development. Bootcamps and short courses are all immersive, meaning that students learn by doing. They work on real-world projects under the guidance of experienced instructors. And they also have a really good career support and job placement assistance to its graduate. They have a network of hiring partners, and its graduates often have job offers before they graduate from a bootcamp, which is really good as well. So the real-world projects, experienced instructors, immersive learning experience, and the job placement assistance are all really fantastic pros of using this kind of bootcamp. However, again, it can be quite expensive. You can see the tuition and financing. There are finance plans, there are tuition discounts, but again, it's cheaper than a typical traditional degree that you would do at university. So you need to really think about your own financial position and see if it's something that you are qualified for and they're capable for. And it's also quite expensive as well. However, if you're serious about becoming a web developer, General Assembly's web development bootcamps are a great way to get the skills you need to quickly and efficiently become a web developer. But it's important to do your research and choose a bootcamp that aligns with your career goals as well. Overall, I think General Assembly's web development bootcamps are a good option for students who are serious about becoming web developers and are willing to put in the hard work as well. So the next way to learn web development is finding a learning community. So essentially just joining a community of other web developers is a really great way to learn from others, ask questions, and get feedback on your work. Online communities like Stack Overflow, Reddit, the web dev subreddit and the front end subreddit, Discord, there's loads of Discord servers out there for web developers, Slack channels for web developers as well, are some of the more popular online communities that you can connect and learn from. There's also local meetups for web developers. You can find meetups in your area through meetup.com. You can also go through coding bootcamps. There's smaller coding bootcamps that have active alumni communities. If you're enrolled in a coding bootcamp, be sure to join the alumni community so you can stay connected with your classmates and instructors after you graduate. Hackathons are events where people come together to build projects in a short period of time. Hackathons are a great way to meet and greet other web developers and learn from each other. And lastly, open source projects. So contributing to open source projects is a great way to learn from other developers and improve your skills. There are loads of open source web development projects that you can contribute to. Once you have found a learning community, be sure to participate actively, ask questions, share your knowledge, and help others. The more you participate, the more you'll learn, and the more valuable the community will be to you. And lastly, and probably one of the most important tips whenever you're learning web development, is start practicing on your projects. The best way to learn is honestly just to put into practice what you've learned. You want to work on projects that you are passionate about, and that's going to help you stay motivated and engaged. And if you're not sure on what projects you can start off with, there's so many online communities that have projects that you can work off. So for example, with GitHub is a really popular code hosting platform that can be used to make projects to help learn web development, and can be used to clone projects to help learn web development as well. So now let's talk about version control. Version control is the practice of tracking and managing changes to files over time. It's really critical for web developers, and it allows them to essentially recover from mistakes. So essentially version control will allow them to revert to a previous version of the code that doesn't have the mistake in it. Version control also makes it easy for multiple developers to work on the same project simultaneously without stepping on each other's toes. And version control also provides a complete history of all the changes made over time to a project, which is really helpful for debugging and can help understand how the project has evolved. Version control systems typically store a copy of every file and version of a file, along with information about who made the changes and when, and this can be used to revert to a previous version of the file, compare different versions of the file, and identify who made specific changes. It's essential for any web developer who wants to be able to work efficiently and also collaborate effectively. So that is where Git comes in. Git is a free and open source distribution version control system, or VCS, and it's used to track changes to files and collaborate with other developers. It's one of the most popular VCS in the world, and it's used by millions of developers for a wide variety of projects, including web development, software development, and game development. Git works by creating a snapshot of your files every time you make a change. These snapshots are called commits, and each commit has a unique identifier called a hash. Git stores the commits in a local repository on your computer, and you can also push the commits to a remote repository such as GitHub or GitLab. This allows you to collaborate with other developers and share your code with the world. To use Git, you first need to create a repository for your project, whatever one it is. You can use that using the git init command, and once you have created a repository, you can start tracking changes to your file by adding them to the staging area using the git add command. And once you're ready to commit your changes, you can use the git commit command, and this will commit a new commit with your changes and store it in the repository. Git has a number of features that make it a really powerful VCS, like branching, merging, and rebasing. Branching basically allows you to create different versions of your code without affecting the main branch. This is useful for developing new features or fixing bugs. Merging allows you to combine two branches into one, and you'll do this if you ever want to integrate changes from a feature branch into the main branch. Rebasing allows you to reorganize your commit without changing their history, and all of that is useful for cleaning up your commit history or making changes to the order of your commits. Git is a really complex tool. It has quite a steep learning curve, but it's really powerful and can be used to manage projects of all sizes. Now, you might have heard of GitHub, and it's not to be confused with Git. So Git is a VCS, while GitHub is a web-based cloud-managed web-based hosting service for Git repositories. In other words, Git is the tool that you would use to track your changes to your code and collaborate with other developers, and GitHub is the place to store your Git repositories and make them accessible to others. You can use Git without GitHub, but it's more convenient to use GitHub to store your Git repositories. This is because GitHub provides a number of features that make it easy to collaborate with other developers, like pull requests, issues, and code review. To use Git with GitHub, you first need to create a GitHub account, which is free to do. And once you've created an account, you can create a new repository, clone it to your local computer, and once you've cloned the repository, you can start tracking changes to your code and pushing your commits to the remote repository on GitHub. And from that point, other developers can then clone your own repository and pull your changes. This allows them to see your changes and start working on their own contributions. In web development, Git and GitHub are essential tools for developers. They allow developers to track changes to their code, collaborate with other developers on a project, and deploy their code to production servers. So let's look at the basic workflow for Git. The first thing that you do is clone the repository. So if you're working on a new project, you will need to clone the repository from a remote server like GitHub. And this can be done using the git clone command here. You can also create a new branch after that. So if you're working on a new feature or fixing a bug, you should create a new branch so that you don't affect the main branch. And this can be done using the git branch feature. Next, you want to make changes to your code, whatever changes that is that you need to make. And then you want to stage your changes using the git branch command. And then you want to stage your changes using the git add command. You do this once you're happy with the changes. You need to stage them so that they're ready to be committed. And then you're ready to commit your changes using the git commit command. And then you need to pull the latest changes. So if other developers have made changes to the branch, you need to pull the latest changes before you continue working. This can be done using the git pull command. And lastly, you want to merge your branch onto the main branch. Once you finish working on your feature or your bug fix, you need to merge your branch into the main branch, and this can be done using the git merge command. That's a really basic workflow for Git. There are a number of features and commands that you can use, but this is a good starting point. To set up a Git repository for your web development projects, the first thing that you want to make sure that you do is install Git. If you already have Git installed on your computer, if you don't have it installed on your computer, you can go into git.scm.com and install it from here. And you want to download the version that you have, and then you can create a new repository using the git init command. So now let's look at some basic Git commands. So one of the first commands that, and the most basic command that you have that you'll need to run first is git init, and this will create a new Git repository, and it's just simply lowercase git and then init, and that will create a new Git repository on your file path. If you want to add a file to the staging area, you just want to type in git add, and then the name of the file and the file type. So for example, if you wanted to add a readme file, you can add readme.md. And that'll add a new file labeled this and that file type. To commit the changes in the staging area to the repository, you just want to do git commit m added readme file. If you want to push the commits in your local repository to a remote repository, you just want to do git pull origin master. If you ever want to pull changes from a remote repository to your local repository, you want to do sorry, this one should be push, and then this one is git pull origin master. To switch to a feature branch, you just want to do git checkout feature. To create a new branch called bug fix, you just want to do git branch to create the new branch, and then you just want to give it the name. We'll call it bug fix. And then to merge the feature branch onto the master branch, you do git merge master. And lastly, to rebase the feature branch onto the master branch, you just do git rebase master. These are just a few of the many git commands that are available. Again, if you want to look at more, you just want to go on to git.scm/doc. So this is the official documentation for Git, and they have everything. They have videos as well and external links. So if you have any questions, there's books and there's reference manuals as well that you can use to start working on your Git project. So we've talked a little bit about web developers, and we've talked a little bit about how you can learn to become a web developer and how to hone your web development skills. Let's talk about the web development process. So what is the website development roadmap? The website development roadmap process, it involves several key steps, and essentially all of these steps make up the roadmap from conception all the way to launch. So here's a general overview. First up, we have project discovery, and this is the initial phase, and it involves understanding the client's goals, target audience, and project requirements. Discussions and brainstorming sessions help to clarify the scope, features, and overall vision for the website. Then there's the planning. So once the project objectives are clear, the development team outlines the project plan, including timelines, milestones, and resources. They decide on the technology stack, content structure, and design approach. The next phase is the design phase, and in this phase, designers create wireframes and mockups that visualize the website's layout, the interface, and user experience. Feedback and revisions refine the design until it aligns with the client's visions and the agency's capabilities. Next up, you actually have content creation, and content development starts including writing, imagery, videos, and other multimedia elements. Quality content is essential for engaging users and conveying the intended message. Next up is the development stage, and developers will then take the design and turn it into a functional website, and this involves coding, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and any kind of background programming. They will build the interactive elements, the databases, and integrate any necessary third-party tools. Next is the testing phase. So rigorous testing is crucial to ensure the website works smoothly across various devices, browsers, and screen sizes. Bugs, glitches, and usability issues are identified and resolved during this phase. Then you have a client review. The client review is for the client to actually review the development website and provides any feedback. Any necessary adjustments are made before proceeding. As the website nears completion, preparations for launch begin, and this includes configuring hosting, domain setup, SSL certification, and any other technical requirements. And then you have the actual launch, and this is when the website is made live to the public, and this involves migrating the website to its final hosting environment, ensuring all links and functionalities are working correctly. And lastly, you have post-launch testing and optimization. After launch, ongoing testing continues to catch any issues that might arise once the site is live. Additionally, performance optimization and SEO efforts are undertaken to enhance user experience and visibility in search engines. Website maintenance and updates, and this should be offered sort of by agencies afterwards, but essentially websites require regular maintenance, including security updates, content updates, and feature enhancements. This phase ensures the website remains functional and up to date over time. And next up, you have analytics and monitoring. So continuous monitoring of website traffic and user behavior provides insights into how well the website is performing and where improvements can actually be made. So the specifics of each step can vary based on the complexity of the project and the practice of the development agency. This roadmap provides a sort of general outline of the website development process from start to finish. In the next few slides, we'll go over each of these phases in more detail.
So first up, we have the project discovery phase. So as mentioned before, the project discovery phase is the critical starting point in the website development process. It's during this phase the development team, along with the client, will collaboratively gather information and define the project scope, goals, and requirements. The goal of project discovery is to establish a clear understanding of what the client wants to achieve and to lay the foundation for a successful process. So here's a breakdown of what happens during the project discovery phase. We have initial meetings. So the development team meets with the client to initiate discussions about the project, and these meetings might involve key stakeholders, designers, developers, and project managers. The purpose of the initial meeting is to introduce the team, establish a rapport, and create an open line of communication. Next up, the client's goals and objectives for the website are discussed. So this could include the purpose of the website. Is it an e-commerce, informational website, portfolio, etc.? Target audience, desired user experience, and any specified outcomes the client wants to achieve. Next up, brainstorming sessions are then conducted to explore different ideas, concepts, and approaches for the website, and this might involve discussing design aesthetics, branding, visual elements, and potential features. The scope of the project is defined, which includes specific features, functionalities, and pages that the website will include. The team and client collaborate to identify what's feasible within the given timeline and budget. Next up is a requirements document, and in this section, all of the gathered information, discussions, and decisions are documented in a requirements document, and this document serves as a reference point for the rest of the development process and helps prevent misunderstandings. And lastly, client agreement. So based on the information gathered during the discovery phase, the development team and the client may formalize the agreement through a contract or project proposal. This document will outline the scope, timeline, budget, and all the other relevant terms. The project discovery phase lays the groundwork for the entire development process. It ensures the development team and the client share a common understanding of the project's goals, requirements, and constraints, which in turn helps streamline the subsequent stages of design, development, and implementation. So next up is the planning phase, and the planning phase in website development is a crucial step that follows the project discovery phase. And during this phase, the information gathered from the project discovery phase is used to create a detailed roadmap for the project, and the planning phase sets the stage for a successful execution of the website development process by defining the project scope, objectives, resources, timelines, and milestones. So here's a deeper look at what happens during the planning phase. First up is scope refinement, and the project scope, as outlined during the project discovery phase, is refined further to ensure clarity. Any ambiguities or gaps in the scope are addressed to avoid misunderstandings later in the project. Based on the project's requirements, the development team selects the appropriate technology stack, and this includes decisions about the programming languages, frameworks, CMS, and any third-party tools or plugins that will be used. The high-level design and architecture of the website is designed. This includes decisions about how different components of the website will interact, the data flow, and the overall system structure. Designers will then create wireframes and prototypes that outline the basic layout and user interface of the website. These visual representations provide a glimpse of how different elements will be arranged on the pages. A detailed project timeline is created, breaking down the development process into phases, tasks, and milestones, and this timeline will help provide a clear roadmap for the entire project and helps manage expectations as well. The team then identifies the roles and responsibility of each team member, including designer, developer, content creators, and project managers. This ensures that everyone knows their role in the project and contributes effectively. The budget for the project is refined on the scope, resources, and timeline, and the client is provided then with a detailed cost estimation that includes development, design, testing, and any other related expenses. And lastly, we have the project management tool setups. So the tools and platform. This includes task tracking systems, version control, repositories, and communication channels. The planning phase lays out a clear roadmap for the development process, setting expectations for both the development team and the client. It helps minimize scope creep, reduces the likelihood of misunderstandings, and provides a structured approach to executing the actual project. A well-executed planning phase contributes significantly to the overall success of the website development project. So let's talk about the design phase. And the design phase starts off with mockups and prototypes. So designers will create detailed mockups or interactive prototypes of key pages or templates. These mockups provide a clear representation of how the final website will look and function, helping stakeholders visualize the end project. With the increasing use of various devices and screen sizes, responsive design is crucial. Designers ensure that the website's layout and elements adapt seamlessly to different screen resolutions, from desktop monitors to mobile phones. Designers will then ensure that the website is accessible to users with disabilities by following accessibility guidelines and incorporating features like alt text for images, proper heading structures, and keyboard navigation. Designers will work closely with content creators to ensure that content is seamlessly integrated into the design. This includes placing text, images, videos, and other multimedia elements in a visually appealing manner. Design iterations based on client feedback are a natural part of the process. Designers will make necessary revisions to ensure that the final design meets the client's preferences and objectives. And then once the design has been refined and aligns with the client's expectation, the client gives final approval for the design before moving on to the development phase. The design phase brings the project's visual elements to life and shapes the user experience that visitors will have on the website. Effectively, collaboration between designers, developers, and clients is really crucial to ensure that the design captures the essence of the project's goals and engages users effectively. So the next phase is the development phase, and during this phase, the website design is transformed into the functional, interactive website. Developers will write code, integrate databases, and build the necessary functionalities, and this phase involves front-end development. So they will create the user interface by coding with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They will also ensure that the design is faithfully implemented and that the website is visually appealing and responsive. Back-end development will work on the server side of the website, and they build databases, handle data processing, and develop server logic to make sure the website's functionality works smoothly. And developers also implement interactive features, forms, search functionalities, user accounts, and any custom functionalities specific to the project in this phase here. After the development is complete, we moved on to the client review phase, and this is the phase where the client is presented with the working website for the first time for a review. This phase involves client feedback again, so the client reviews the website again to ensure that it aligns with their vision and requirements. Any necessary changes or improvements are communicated to the team. And then based on client feedback, developers make necessary revisions to the website to address any concerns or requested changes. Once all of the changes have been confirmed, it moves on to the testing phase. So this is just before the website goes live. Rigorous testing is conducted to identify and resolve any bugs, errors, or usability issues. This phase includes functional testing, so ensuring that all functionalities, features, and links work as intended. Compatibility testing, so testing the website on various browsers, devices, and operating systems to ensure consistent performance. And performance testing, so assessing the website's loading speed, response times, and overall performance. Once the testing phase is complete, it's moved on to the launch phase, and this is when the website is actually ready to go live and client satisfied with everything. And this phase involves final prep, so in configuring hosting, domain settings, and ensuring all necessary files and database are ready for deployment. Moving the website from the development environment to the live server, and then launch announcement, so announcing the website's launch to the public or target audience. After the successful launch phase, then comes the post-launch testing and optimization. So after the website is live, ongoing testing and optimizations are necessary for continued success. This mainly involves bug monitoring, so continuously monitoring the website for any post-launch bugs or issues and addressing them promptly. And performance optimization, so optimizing the website speed, responsiveness, and user experience based on the real-world usage data. Next up is maintenance and updates, and this is basically ensuring that websites afterwards require regular maintenance and updates to remain functional, secure, and up to date. And this involves security updates, so applying patches and updates to prevent security vulnerabilities, content updates, so keeping the content fresh and relevant by adding new information, articles, products, and any feature enhancements, so introducing new features or improving existing ones based on user feedback and industry trends. So monitoring and analyzing the website's performance and user behavior provide valuable insights for continuous improvement, and this can be conducted during the analytics and monitoring phase. So things like traffic analysis, using tools like Google Analytics to track website traffic, user demographics, and popular pages. Conversion tracking, so monitoring user actions such as form submissions, purchases, or downloads to measure the website's effectiveness. And then studying how users navigate the websites and identifying areas where users might face difficulties. So collectively, all of these phases ensure a comprehensive and successful website development process, from the initial design concept to the ongoing maintenance and optimization of the live website. And that's a wrap for today's video on web development and how to learn. We hope you find this exploration informative and inspiring. Feel free to leave your thoughts and questions or any topics you'd like us to cover in the comments below. Until next time, keep designing, keep developing, and keep innovating. Thanks for joining us.